When you try to achieve something in life, it's inevitable there will be setbacks. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
The healthy life is restlessness. That's a healthy life. There's going to be ups and downs. Every heart that beats is contracting and expanding all the time. The journey of life is up and down.
Over the years, I've been able to fly around the world to speak to some of the wisest men in the world. And all of that was made possible by our sponsors. Today's video is sponsored by Huel, a quick, affordable, nutritionally complete source of food with everything that your body needs. Use code 10Mulligan with the link down below.
I would never give up on somebody, never. Anybody can change at any stage of their life. We are writing our own story, our own life story, but there's no reason why we can't stop and go, what do I really want? And start from that moment on rewriting your story, facing the challenge, achieving for yourself, and putting your fears and anxieties to one side.
So I think it's important to understand that we all need a certain element of longing, seeking, reaching, yearning. If you don't have that, you're not human. The soul of a human being is a divine flame. It's a flame of God. Look at a flame. A flame never rests. It's always flickering. It's always restless. That's what a soul is like, a restlessness.
When faced by a challenge, the mind skips into the future and says, what if I fail? What if I'm embarrassed? What if I get injured? What if I... And I have to give them a different way of thinking. The thinking is, I may fail. I may get embarrassed. I may get injured. But I can deal with it because I'm strong.
But the flame is always that spirit. And when you see somebody who's stopped flickering, it's not a good sign. If they lack the sparkle in the eye, whatever the reason, there's something missing. There were children playing on a ladder. And all the children were afraid to climb to the top, except one child. He climbed all the way to the top. So his grandfather, who was watching, said to his grandson, he said, tell me, why were you the only one that had the courage to climb to the top of the ladder? He said, because when the other children were climbing, they kept looking down. So they saw how high they were. They were afraid to climb higher. When I was climbing, I kept looking up. I saw how low I was, so it motivated me to climb higher. So a healthy, growing human being is always looking up. When you look up, you always see horizons you haven't conquered yet, so it's a motivator. So it's always important to look up and then try to gain and internalize it, and then continue climbing. What do you want? And now figure out how to get it. Standing on the ground, we know how to do. You know how to swim in the water, but that split second, you're not in the water and not on the ground, is the fear, a certain unknown. It's like a suspension. And I realized that we are all concerned the transition of change is fearful because you're not used to it. It's something new. And we always gravitate to that which was comfortable for us, that which is easy. We're secure with it. But on the other hand, all growth comes only when you change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Or I like to put it, if you think what you thought, and you say what you said, and you do what you did, you know what you're gonna have, what you had. It's a mathematical certainty, because nothing's changed. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Growth is always gonna come with some discomfort. And that's where the path of least resistance comes in. I say it always to people, I said, if you're more comfortable in this painful situation, you're gonna stay there. It'll only be when it's less comfortable to stay there than to move. Path of least resistance is what you will choose, even if it's a terrible choice. So you have to realize that there is that fear, but all growth is gonna come from that.
Prefer to be the kind of person who steps up and faces the challenge than the kind of person who stays below the line and avoids challenge. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want? How badly do you want it? How much are you willing to suffer? Those three questions our high performers face every day. Am I going to be a fighter today, or am I going to be a victim? It's a battle of you versus you. We think the opposition's over there, in the other dressing room, but actually it's in here. Who am I going to be today? Am I going to be my best self or my weaker self?
You need to shed one layer of skin to assume a new layer of skin. There's no other way. And that's always life. Creativity is always going to be followed by frustration. Because the more creative, the more novel is the new energy, the more the discomfort is going to precede it.
You're in control. You're in control of your mind. It's your mind. There's 1,000 excuses, but not a single reason.
Disruption has to be seen as a stepping stone towards higher states of growth, toward a paradigm shift.
When you step into the challenge zone, the number of excuses for getting out, back into your comfort zone from there, multiplies. I'm too tired, it's too difficult. I'm having a bad day. Nobody likes me.
Unfortunately, in many cases, it comes through something where you finally hit rock bottom, as they say. Something really shows you this is not acceptable. Who you are should define what you do. But often our jobs, our work, our responsibilities, expectations of others shape and define us. This is the work I do. I try to help people free themselves from those forces. You have something unique to contribute. You have your unique song. As 8 billion people on this planet, yes, but not two are alike.
I would teach them to face up to those excuses and refuse to be a victim, and teach them a fighter mentality about all those things may be there, but I'm still going to do it. I'm going to deal with it. So 1,000 excuses, but not one reason not to achieve. Awful lot of players playing in the Premier League football in this country who are B for talent, not quite as genetically superior, but A for attitude. And attitude is something anybody can have, anybody. Talent is something that may be a little bit God-given, but attitude is anybody's. You can decide to improve your attitude any day. When you try to achieve something in life, it's inevitable there will be setbacks. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it's tough. It's tough rising to the top of your career. It's tough holding a relationship together. It's tough buying a house. It's tough being a champion. So there will be setbacks. There's a great story of Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. In his first year as a professional, his team reached the playoffs, and he was the superstar, the young superstar. And in the last minute of the game, he had 3 shots to win the game for his team and missed all 3. And at the end of the game, the commentators were astounded. This great talent missed all 3 shots. And he was sat down on the bench, and his head was in his hands. And they were talking about how he must feel dreadful. And when he got up to come off the court, they managed to get an interview with him and said, "Kobe, you were sat on the bench with your head in your hands. You must have felt terrible." And he looked at them and he said, "What's feeling got to do with it? I was working out why I missed those shots. I now know why I missed those shots, and I can do something about it." Setbacks knock you emotionally off balance. But you've got to work beyond the emotion to get to, why did I have that setback? What can I learn from it? How am I going to avoid it in the future? And go on. If an athlete says, "I want to be the best, Bill," fine. how badly do you want it? Because you've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder, you've got to commit more, you've got to take more responsibility, you've got to deal with more ups and downs. Why are you limiting yourself to that level of achievement?
We have to go back to the mission. You need to have a mission in life, and then you use the tools to fulfill that mission. If you don't have a mission, your smartphone and all the different browsing and all the chats and all the notices are going to control your life. So it comes down to who's in control of your life, you or the circumstances around you.
So that you get athletes who just turn up. It's training tonight, I'll just turn up. You get athletes who turn up to train. They'll turn up, they'll do the requisite amount of work, but that's it. Athletes who turn up to compete, they put a bit more effort in. They try to be the best amongst their group. Then there's the athletes who train to win. They train every day, every session, so that they win on match night. And then there are just those very few players who train to dominate. They train so hard that winning is inevitable on race night.
Okay, so how do you stand out in a crowd, and how do you become a nonconformist? Because the tendency for all of us is to be conformists. That's how it is. We don't like to stand out. I mean, everyone likes to say I have a unique flair or a unique style, but not too much. You don't want to be a pariah. You don't want to be laughed at and mocked at. From our childhood, we've been trained, you conform. You have to do this to conform, to fit in. The tendency and the temptation to do that is understandable. It comes down to fear as well. Fear of being different, fear of being laughed at, fear of being dismissed. But at the same time, you don't want to lose your individuality. So it comes down to if that individual, unique you has been cultivated or not. But we live in a society, and I think again, through industrialization and technology, is only contributing to the conforming. You have to fit in a certain way.
Maximizing on yourself. It's about dealing with your own doubts, fears, and anxieties. About letting the positive you defeat the negative you. Because what they don't see, the people in the arena don't see, is you on your own at 6 o'clock in the morning, working out, sweating, struggling. And that's what makes champions, the ability to motivate themselves to do the work on their own that leads to success in the arena. Today, I will train like a champion. It looks like an everyday commitment where you wake up every day and say, just like Clint Eastwood, you say, today I'm going to be a champion.
You know, they say when Mozart presented his composition of music, one of his masterpieces, to the Archduke of Austria. So the Archduke thought he was a connoisseur of music. So he says to Mozart, beautiful, but far too many notes. You see, he's telling him far too many notes. And Mozart purportedly responded, he says, yes, Your Majesty, but not one more than necessary. Every note is necessary. And I think it's important to realize that every human being, it doesn't matter how many people out there, you have to know that you are unique and there's something you can contribute that only you can contribute.
But you love them for their attitude. Fighter mentality through and through. Never let you down. Battle to the end. They're the ones who win. What do you want? How badly do you want it? and how much are you willing to suffer? And very often, everything revolves around the first question, what do you want? Because a lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? So, what do you want is a very powerful question. And what do you want? How badly do you want it? How much are you willing to suffer? It starts with a dream. If you don't have the dream, then you're not really going to go anywhere, but you have a dream. And then I have to help them translate the dream into commitment. And then translate the commitment into belief, into action, into challenge, into resilience, into fighter mentality. So it's a process, but there are many exercises, but they're all the same. They're reframing your thinking from negative to positive. They're all saying, but the only way you can fulfill that dream is what you do today. You can't just hope it's going to happen, you've got to make it happen. So you have a dream, in 3 months' time you're going to pass your examinations for university. So what you have to do, because you have to be excellent on that day, you have to be excellent today. You have to study hard today. And then you have to study hard tomorrow. And then you have to study hard the next day. And you know what? That dream is coming to you. You're not chasing it, it's coming to you. And if you're excellent every day, I guarantee you'll be excellent on examination day. And you've achieved your dream.
The healthy life is restlessness. That's a healthy life. There's going to be ups and downs. Every heart that beats is contracting and expanding all the time. The journey of life is up and down.
It's okay if it ends in defeat. It's not as nice as winning, but it's okay. Because what you understand is, it's the process, not the outcome. It's the process of sport that makes it so meaningful and valuable in life. It's the things you learn on the journey that are the key things in your life that help you be a better husband, father, friend, granddad. Some people will go all the way and win. And fantastic. Brilliant. But many people, 90% of people in the challenge zone, will only go part way. But it's still rewarding because it's the process that gives you the benefits. The outcome is just cake on the end of the meal.
I hope you enjoyed this video. These are two of the wisest men that I have spoken to over the last couple of years, and they're an absolute privilege to speak to. Bill Beswick, I think, has gone under the radar, and it's so great now that millions of people are seeing him all over Instagram and TikTok, and hopefully some people will get to see this YouTube video as well. Bill actually coached my basketball coach back in the day, so thank you to Bill, thank you to Rabbi Simon Jacobson, and also thank you to today's sponsor, Huel, a quick, affordable, nutritionally complete source of food with everything that your body needs. It's because of Huel I've been able to fly around the world for the past 2 years, knowing that I've got everything that my body needs, including the protein at the grab of a bottle. I absolutely love this. If you want a discount, $10 or £10 off your first order, use code 10Mulligan with the link down below. And you can find out more with the link from more of their product range as well. My favorite is the Black Edition Huel. I use it for all my gym workouts. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.